turn off loop, and then get the countdown. There you go. The Sons of Sparta will finally see the small screen. When Marvel said your options were Rick Jones, Robbie Robertson, Madam Mask, or Luke Cage, did you pick E for none of the above? How many chances is too many chances? Whoa, those are some tig-old bodies. All this and more on Cutting Edge Hero Live. Welcome to Cutting Edge Hero! I am the Nerd King, Danny Stewart, your host for this and every episode of Cutting Edge Hero. Landon, it was his first show to be the co-host of the show with me, but he is just plumb tuckered out from moving, so Landon is taking an L this week. But I am joined in the studio by the fascinating and handsome Randy Tapley. Randy, how's it going?
It's going good. We survived the storms.
Yes. We were just under a tornado warning. Apparently it landed like on the edge of Cape Girardeau from both sides. There's some damage, all of that. I haven't really gotten to check it out just yet. But we are down in the studio, thankfully safe from the damage, and we wish everyone a safe and speedy recovery. Hopefully no one was seriously injured. But that being said, we have a great show for you tonight. We will be talking about some of the latest news in the bullet points here in a minute. We are then going to break down the CinemaCon highlights and talk about Daredevil Born Again Episode 7. And we will also be doing our 5 favorite artists on the hit list. Before we do all of that, though, Randy, what's the nerdiest thing you've done this week?
Probably spent too much time thinking about my hit lists. And then also like rewatching several things that appeared on my hit list.
Okay.
And binge watching Daredevil, but not able to catch up fully.
Don't worry, I'm going to spoil the hell out of it for you. Unfortunately, that is one of the negative sides of being on the show with me. If you don't get a chance to watch the current whatever, I'm still going to talk about it. So hopefully spoilers don't ruin your life. They don't ruin mine, and I apologize if they do. You're here for the duration. Randy, the top right corner there, you can see we've got some comments coming in. Yeah, if you will click those, I can see them as they roll in. Let's see. Story Love said, why this music? Hold on. Why this music made me think of the Heffalump and Woozle songs. It's very intentionally nostalgic music. CJ Lovelady said, my mic sounds nice. Check 1. Perfect. CJ, appreciate you. Ron Cramble, from Icon Gaming. He runs gaming for all of Cape events, so both Cape Anime and Cape Con, and he is just a good friend and a good friend to our show. And then Storylove also said, Danny. One of those is the right way to spell my name. New FromSoft's game, Dustblood. I couldn't see it. Yeah. So, unfortunately, with Landon being out, we won't be covering gaming, but feel free to throw your comments in the chat about it. And Randy, you got any gaming news this week?
No, I don't stay up too well.
Okay, then I won't throw it over to you for that. But the nerdiest thing I've done this week is I'm getting prepared for CinemaCon coming up this weekend. We are just 3 days away from getting to meet J. Michael Tatum, Brandon McGinnis, Dina Sherman, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, and John Swayze, all incredible human beings, all prolific voice actors who have been in some incredible series. I'm not going to list them for you. Check them out. Go to cape-events.com. You can buy your tickets still online, or you can go to our Instagram or our Facebook and catch up on all of the latest news coming out of the show. It's going to be a good time. But also on top of that, I'm currently 3D printing a Generation 1 Optimus Prime figure that I found online, and I'm going to hand paint it, and I'm very, very excited to get it finished. I tried to print all 58 pieces of it at one time. The print failed twice. So now I'm breaking it into 10 pieces at a time. It's taking me roughly an hour. So I'm going to have about 6 hours invested in this figure by the time it's done printing. And that's just to get it off the printer, and then hours and hours of work getting it handcrafted and lovingly turned into my main man Optimus. Randy, I was telling you I do have a Generation 1 Optimus model that I put together. It's pretty sweet. He's got the Matrix of Leadership in there. It opens up the chest cavity. It's got like 6 interchangeable hands. It's got his guns. It's got his laser axe and laser sword come with it as well. I like it here where he's opening up the Matrix.
This is my second week, and I need to step up my nerd game.
Story Love and her husband got me this for Christmas this last year, and that is a IDW Comics Megatron, which is just incredible. This one had fewer interchangeable hands, but still very cool. I do want to get the matching Generation 1 Megatron to go with that figure, though. And then also the matching IDW Optimus for this one. And just a lot of them. I just want an Optimus Prime on every available space I have in my house. I love Optimus. He's one of my favorite protagonists throughout all of history. And feel very strongly about him. Anyway, all of that. Randy, you want to talk about some news?
Sure.
Why don't you fire those bullet points at me?
All righty.
Bear with him. Welcome to the bullet points. We are going to be talking about some of, not all, the news coming out of anime, comics, TV, movies, and video games. I'm going to lean on Story Love for the video game part. But anyway, in the anime world, for those of you who are fans of Netflix's Castlevania series, they've had like 3 now. That kind of animation style, they reached out to that same group to make an anime for the Devil May Cry video games. Now, I love Devil May Cry. It's one of my favorite video game franchises. I've played them all. 2 is gross. The rest are great. And then DMC should have never been made. Somebody deserves to be punched right in the junk for that. But the rest of the games are awesome. Devil May Cry 3 is my favorite. And this series is going to loosely take place around that DMC Devil May Cry 3 age Dante. Although it does take place in an alternate reality, is not going to follow the storyline of the other games in the franchise. It's a whole new story that takes place in a whole new setting. But you will see your favorites: Lady, Virgil, Dante, Sparta, Trish. All the best characters from the series should be in it. And it actually drops on Netflix tomorrow.
That's very exciting news.
That is very exciting. I'm very excited.
I only played the 4th game, but I absolutely fell in love with it and bought the other games to go back and play, but it was like not a remastered version, and I was like, couldn't go back.
Yeah. So 4 and 5, both incredible. I liked what 4 did, but I liked that 5 brought Virgil back into the fold. Virgil is my favorite character from the Devil May Cry franchise. And I love that it brought Virgil back into the fold. He was a big part of 3. He's one of the main enemies, one of the main antagonists in 1, but you don't really get to know him. And then in 2, he's not featured at all. In 3, he's a younger version that hasn't been turned into the Dark Knight yet. 4, he's largely missing. And then 5, Virgil comes back to life. And it was so satisfying to get that story arc. And I'm just looking forward to more from that. In comics news, so some months ago, they introduced a new Venom in the Marvel Comics world in a storyline called All New Venom, appropriately. And they teased at that point that the new Venom was one of 4 options. It's either Rick Jones, Robbie Robertson, Madam Mask or Luke Cage, and they have kept it a very closely held secret in Marvel Comics universe. Well, with all new Venom #5, they have finally revealed who the person behind the symbiote is. And if you guessed that it was Mary Jane, how? Because they left no hints to that. But yes, Mary Jane Watson, Spider-Man's ex-wife, current wife, who knows? Mephisto can tell us, is now Venom in the Spider-Man universe. So she joins the ranks of Eddie Brock, Eddie's son, Flash Thompson, and Peter Parker as one of the main people to have been Venom. I honestly thought it was Luke Cage because the all new Venom logo was literally the font from the Luke Cage comics. But no, they bait and switched to all of us. And it was Mary Jane Watson the whole time. So if you saw that coming, you're some kind of genius, but I did not. So I'm excited to see what they do with it. They've really mishandled the Mary Jane character since the One More Day storyline. They fumbled it several times, with the Brand New Day storyline. They really ruined her, and trying to make Peter, there's this like, I feel like it's dying off. I feel like we're not seeing it as much, but there's this belief in comics that happily married comic book characters do not sell comics. So you will see every so often they'll reset and like Superman will become single again. Spider-Man will become single again. And it rinse and repeat. It happens to all of them over and over and over again. And so this was their answer to trying to make Spider-Man more relatable and more sellable, was that in exchange for bringing Aunt May back to life, they retconned like a literal in-world retcon of Peter and MJ's marriage, and that they were never married, but Peter remembers it and nobody else does. And then Brand New Day fixed it, and he was supposed to remember, and everybody was supposed to remember. And then MJ decided to go a different direction entirely anyway. It was like, oh yeah, we were married and we loved each other. Cool. Now I'm single. Go live your life. All of that to say that now she's Venom. So I don't know if having the Venom symbiote is going to fix that memory issue. If like at the end of this, the result of it is that they remember they're happily married and they put themselves back together. She was married to another dude last year. So that he like died in an alternate reality. It's crazy. They're all over the place with the Mary Jane character. So hopefully this is cool. And if it isn't, wait, they'll retcon it again and she'll be a plucky model from Queens.
Yeah, get Mephisto in there and break up Venom and Mary Jane.
Yeah. Yes, as much as we don't want to rely on Mephisto to be the overarching savior of all of Marvel Comics, he does tend to be the one they lean on for that kind of stuff. In television news, are you a fan of the Netflix Iron Fist series?
Not particularly. I watched it. I only watched like the first 3 episodes. That's where I kind of fell off of the Netflix MCU stuff.
You were with most people on that. So the Netflix Defender series and the Netflix Iron Fist series cast Finn Jones as the eponymous Iron Fist character. Danny Rand being the Iron Fist was problematic back in the 60s when they introduced him. The fact that he's a white savior character, the fact that he's a white dude that lands in an Asian country, a mythical Asian country, and is the best martial artist of all time. Like, it made no sense, but it's whatever. So Netflix is like, oh, cool, we've got Danny Rand, we'll make a series. And then they cast Finn Jones. He was a knight. He was the Knight of Roses in Game of Thrones. He had some fight training. They thought, hey, he was great in Game of Thrones. We'll just throw him in there. He knows how to fight. We'll figure it out. So for people who don't know, Charlie Cox had 6 months of intensive martial arts training leading up to his first appearance as Daredevil in the Netflix Daredevil series. Finn Jones had a couple weeks, and it shows. It is awful. But Finn Jones recently at the Le Conve Monterey Anime Con said that just give him a fucking chance, just give him a chance to come back and show everybody that he can be a good Danny Rand, that he can really show us that he's a good Iron Fist. And the question I have to ask is, how is 2 seasons and a whole other series not enough chances? Finn Jones, how many chances do you need? Are you familiar with the concept of an actor being cast into a television series and them being so great that they become a mainstay, even though they were intended to just leave after an episode? Like Andy in Parks and Rec, like people who just really earn their spot. This guy had his own series for 2 seasons, and he was in Defenders, a whole series where Danny Rand featured very prominently, and no one was impressed. That seems like enough chances to me.
And when he was announced to be Iron Fist, I was excited because I was like, I like Iron Fist. I haven't read a ton of the comics, but I liked Iron Fist. and I liked him in Game of Thrones. And I was like, he wasn't in Game of Thrones long enough, but then I saw it and I was like, that's not compared to Daredevil, like season 1, like
yeah, I
there
mean,
was just no comparison.
it's been lambasted online pretty effectively for how poor the fight choreography in it is, but that's not my biggest problem with it. Like, he just wasn't good. Like, never was I like, wow, he's a really good Danny Rand. He really gets this character. It sucks that the fight choreography wasn't better done, but at least he gets him. I never felt that way. Like, he's not a good Danny Rand. He's not a good Iron Fist. I don't want him to have more chances. Please cast someone else. Bring God, what is her name? The other girl that became Iron Fist in the end of the series. Colleen Wing. Bring Colleen Wing in as Iron Fist and just say Danny retired or something. Like, that's great. Or do
to Kyun Hyun, or I don't remember the name.
Kunlun. Or do what the Marvel Comics have done and take another character who is Asian in origin and pass the torch and make him the new Iron Fist, like Swordmaster became Iron Fist in the Marvel Comics, and get away from the idea of having this white savior Iron Fist showing up. I just don't know why we would want to give Finn Jones another chance. So I say to you, Finn Jones, no thank you. Please find something else to make. In movie news, well, we have an image to go with this one. Actually, we had an image to go with the Devil May Cry one too. That's on me. I should have asked you for it. Anyway, in movie news, on the Gundam front, they have been planning a live-action Gundam film, and they have officially cast the first star for it, and it is Sydney Sweeney. So if this doesn't bring enough attention to Gundam in the United States, I don't know what will, but Sydney Sweeney is officially the first star cast to be in the Gundam live-action movie, and I don't know who she's going to be playing, but I am excited to see what they do with it. I think that no matter where you're at in the sphere of anime influence, whether you're an actual anime fan, whether you're an otaku, what you are, pretty much everyone knows a Gundam when they see them. You know, I feel like if I showed my mom a Gundam, she doesn't know anything about anime, and if I showed her a Gundam, she'd be like, "Oh, that's an anime thing, right?" So I think that this may be one of the best ways to bring live action anime into the United States. And hopefully it works out very well, because I just love giant robots hitting each other.
Didn't Pacific Rim like do gangbusters when it came out?
Yes,
I remember people being so excited for
people
that.
love Pacific Rim. You know, I was just talking about my Optimus Prime model. This is my Gundam model that I put together as well. It's from that same kind of family of connectable models. But this thing is super posable, tons of articulation. It's a really fun model, but man, I just love Gundam. I just love anything with giant robots running into each other and breaking shit. Does it for me. So I'm excited about this one. I think it's going to be great. And that is everything I have for news. If you will go back to the comments, I can read what Story Love put up there about the Nintendo Direct announcements. Let's see. The Nintendo Direct today was awesome. They announced Mario Kart World,
Deltarune,
Duskblood, Borderlands, Switch 2. It's going to be a good June 2025. Damn Tiger, we hit the jackpot. Thanks, Story Love. But yes, Mimi Schaefer said, can't wait to see you all this weekend. Yes, for the Anime Con. It is our 10th annual Anime Con. We are excited to put it on. And Gundam models are so fun. I haven't even seen the show, but love the. I can't read tonight, but love the toys. Yeah, me too. Anyway, so that is everything we have for news. I hope this news didn't just graze you. This has been the bullet points. So CinemaCon was over, or is the last couple of days they've been revealing or releasing things. Nothing too crazy. Warner Brothers did some stuff. They've got some Warner Brothers animation coming out. They're doing a dynamic duo cartoon that is just Robin centric animated movie. Sony came out of the gate swinging. So they have announced that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the third in the Spider-Man, the Miles Morales Spider-Man films, will be releasing in June of 2027. So that's pretty exciting. They're using a new art style, and it is beautiful. There were so many stills, and I was like, I can't pick which one. So I thought to myself, you know what? They can Google them. So if just Google like CinemaCon or Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, like it's incredible. The new art style looks beautiful. They're really mind-blowing stills, so it's pretty exciting. But on top of that, Sony also announced that the fourth live-action Tom Holland Spider-Man film is going to be titled Brand New Day. Here is the title card for the film. You can see that it's going back to the classic red and blue for Spider-Man. And then Brand New Day, as I said, is a storyline right out of the comics. It's been very divisive amongst fans. So it'll be interesting to see where they're going with this, because in the comics, it was a soft reboot for Spider-Man as a character. He was single. He started dating someone else besides MJ. And he had a relationship. Harry came back from the dead. Obviously, Harry Osborn hasn't even appeared in the MCU Spider-Man films yet. So there's a good chance that we will get an introduction of Harry Osborn and an introduction of Norman Osborn. I know that this is supposed to be a more ground level Spider-Man film, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. But Tom Holland's coming back, and other than that, we don't really have any information about it. Let's see. I think I had. Oh, let's see. And that was everything I had for CinemaCon highlights, actually. They did a little bit of a presentation for the Superman movie. It was mostly behind-the-scenes footage. They extended the trailer that they previously shown by a couple of seconds, and there's a new still out giving a pretty good look at the Fortress of Solitude. That being said, it's like a corona of gems jutting out of the ground in the Arctic. It's nothing like mind-blowing. It's actually a little underwhelming for me every time you see the Fortress of Solitude, and it's not like his house, and it's just like it's like a bunch of gems creating a cave in the Arctic. Like, canonically, the Fortress of Solitude is like a mansion that is like in like some gems in the ice. And so like when you get to like the Superman movies, Smallville, all of that, and it's just like a windblown, like icy, snowy cave with some diamonds around it. It's like, that's not what the fortress is supposed to be. So
Like, where's the bathroom?
yeah, like
How is this structurally sound?
where's the bedroom? Where is he laying down with Lois when they come here for their little like mini vacations away from the rest of, like, she can't survive in subarctic temperatures like Superman can. There's got to be some sort of insulation structure in there. It's also supposed to be full of robots who like are doing lab experiments. There's like a very like fancy, like state of the art lab in there where he runs like scientific experiments, and it's like the Bat Cave but like for Superman. And usually in live action we haven't seen that, and I'm wondering if that's what James Gunn is going to give us, or if it is just going to be another cold cave with some like little crystal platforms, and that'll be the whole Fortress.
As long as there's a little doghouse made of crystal for Crypto.
Yeah. Apparently Crypto is just like going to be the star of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'm fine. Like,
more than Superman. Like, this is the
showed
Crypto
him
movie.
saving people. There was color and Crypto, and I'm probably going to be happy with this movie regardless.
Yeah. So we'll see. Again, I have mixed feelings about it, and I'll wait to see it before I really comment on what the film is about. I just don't personally trust that James Gunn can give us the kind of Superman film that we really need. That maybe invokes that like wide-eyed optimism that the Christopher Reeves Superman films gave us, without like becoming mass murderer of steel like the Henry Cavill films were. But that being said, I'm remaining neutral until I actually see it with my own eyes. I don't want to overjudge or say that it can't be that good, because I might have to eat my hat, and I love this hat. So but yes, that is all the highlights coming out of CinemaCon. There was some more stuff, but nothing that I'm super interested in. So, you know, if you're interested in more than that, or if I missed anything you want to talk about, feel free to throw it in the comments. Otherwise, we're going to move along. Daredevil episode 7 fell on Disney Plus yesterday. I have been saying this the entire series. It's slow. It's still slow. and it's underwhelming. And I want it to be better. I desperately want this to be the home run that it needs to be for the MCU, and it just isn't. It is falling short in every category. The action isn't actiony enough. The Daredevil scenes aren't Daredevil-y enough. The lawyer scenes aren't lawyery enough. Like it just misses the mark. Like it is never really hitting the point that it's aiming for. For me personally, I am excited that we're finally getting Daredevil in the Daredevil show. I'm sad that it took 7 episodes for that to be the case. But even the Daredevil scenes are so underwhelming. And if you guys will give me a second, I want to speak directly to Hollywood. Okay. I want to speak directly to you, Hollywood. Listen to me. Learn about martial arts. Learn them. Okay. Daredevil is a ninja trained in a level of martial arts that is above the mastery of anyone else you're going to meet on the street who knows martial arts. He is so good at martial arts that you have to travel and work for your entire life to be at the level that Daredevil is at. He's like Batman. He is a master of multiple forms of martial arts. He is a ninja. He is fast. He has better reflexes than an average human being. He can see in 360 degrees around himself. Okay. I say all of this because when you introduce Muse, a serial killer who in the comics is an inhuman with super strength and superpowers and makes a decent enemy for Daredevil, but you introduce him into the MCU, and the only bit you give us that explains why he's good at fighting Daredevil is he was really into Taekwondo when he was a kid. Like, I don't care how many local Taekwondo tournaments Muse won. He should never be in any way, shape, or form an equal to Daredevil physically or in combat. So whenever Daredevil and Muse go toe-to-toe and Muse is holding his own against this cold-ass ninja who has fought against armies of other ninjas at different points in his life and is trained by other world ninjas who have powers that an average human being could not understand, that makes no sense. For every martial artist in the world, every pure trained people who have put real time into martial arts like I have. I'm trained in 5 different martial arts. For people that are really into martial arts, Taekwondo is a fun thing you learn at the mall. If you brag about being a good Taekwondo martial artist to real martial artists, they're going to laugh at you. It is a discipline. There's nothing wrong with it as a base, but you do not become a good fighter on Taekwondo alone. You just don't. I'm sorry, that's the truth. There's a reason there are no pure Taekwondo MMA champions. Like there's people with Taekwondo in their like group of martial arts for sure. Absolutely. It's kicking, it's hitting, it's a martial art. But there is no one purely Taekwondo who has won anything in like a multiple discipline combat situation. Taekwondo just is not that martial art. It's fun, it's flashy, it looks good. You're not winning fights against serious martial artists with Taekwondo alone, not unless you get very, very lucky. So just saying Muse was really into Taekwondo as a kid is not a good explanation. Please stop doing that. Please, please, please. You look like a joke. The minute I heard that, I rolled my eyes and I said, that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. That makes no sense. Oh, he's really into Taekwondo. He won a lot of championships when he was younger. So what? I'm really into hockey. I don't know. Does that make me like a great hockey player or like that I should be great at lacrosse? Like I don't know what that comparison means. It means nothing. It was dumb. It was a dumb line to put in there. Please learn something about martial arts and stop doing that shit. And if you're a Taekwondo person, even like there's no one who's like, yeah, I'm a 6th Q black belt in Taekwondo and I could take anyone. Like, no, you can't. That's not what that martial art is designed for. Sorry. If I hurt feelings, it's fine, but I will put my karate against your Taekwondo any day of the week. I will be more effective. That's just the truth. Anyway, but to say all of that, it's okay. I'm middle level on Daredevil Born Again. It's watchable. It's not the worst shit I've ever put my eyes on. It's not as good as, and I will continue screaming this from every rooftop, Daredevil season 2 was pure. It was perfect. It's the peak. Like nothing can be better. That's the best thing to have ever been put on film in the history of film. Unfortunately, Daredevil Born Again is not that. It's so far removed from the heights that Daredevil has achieved as a live action television series. And I just really, really hope that the second season of this really gets their shit together, because this first season has just been boring as shit for me. And as a Daredevil fan, I expect better. There's so many better stories to tell about Matt, and it could have been done at such a better level. And it has just been, and I hate to say this because it's just a trendy way to say like boring, but it's mid. It is the most mid thing I have ever watched in my life. It could be so much better. Please do better, Marvel. We are all relying on you. And I think that the one leg they have to stand on for this, Randy, is that we know that they filmed 18 episodes of this and were ready to put it on TV, and they finally gave creative control back to Kevin Feige and the Marvel heads, and they took it back down and changed the storyline entirely. And so I think unfortunately they're trying to salvage that first half of that 18 episodes and make a season 1 out of it. And so we're getting a bit of that story that wasn't good and a bit of story that is good, and they're trying to make the two work. I do want to say the Kingpin stuff, not good either. Like, he went from Kingpin is a cold, methodical killer, and he turned into a giant crying 3-year-old toddler who didn't get his way in this episode. And I just expect better. Like, the writing is just so see-through, so transparent, so not well done. Please do better. We're relying on you. Please give us good Daredevil episodes. I hope that episode 8 just is mind-blowingly good, because the first 7 have not done it for me.
How many episodes are going to be in this season?
I think so. It's 9 and 9. It's
9.
The first season is 9, because it was initially 18 episodes for one season, and then they split it into 9 and 9. So it's gonna be 9 for the first season, 9 for the second.
How much time they have to turn it around? It looks like they don't have a lot of time to turn it around.
They don't. There's 2 more episodes left in this first season. Hopefully it gets a lot better over the next 2 episodes. What do you think so far? And just pretend I didn't just say all of that shit. How are you honestly feeling about it?
5 minutes into the newest episode, and it's entertaining. I am a bad nerd because I watched season 1 and I loved it. I watched season 1 of Jessica Jones, loved it. Watched like 3 episodes of Iron Fist, and then have not watched anything else. So I haven't seen season 2 of Daredevil.
So Iron Fist, not good. Luke Cage, awesome. Jessica Jones season 1 is awesome. Daredevil season 1 and season 2 are awesome. Luke Cage is awesome. Season 2 of Jessica Jones, not as good. They really water her down in season 2.
That's sort of where I fell off, because I was like, I loved season 1. I love Caitlin Ritter.
Kristen
Ritter. I'm bad with names. Have you ever watched Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23?
I haven't. No.
That's a tangent. But as far as the season goes, it's entertaining. But that's about it. I've second screened most of it just because, which kind of speaks to it. That's maybe not a huge point away from it, because I do that with a lot of things. But it is like second screen show. I got the gist of it, you know. So it's not like enraptured me in a way that has, like blown me away. It takes quite a bit to like blow me away, but well, actually it doesn't. But this one hasn't done it for me. I like seeing more lawyer stuff, because that's what this season has been a lot of, is like
a ton of, yeah, for sure.
Am not
a lot
Daredevil,
of it.
and it's like, we all know you're gonna be Daredevil. So I've liked what they've done, like just like little things, like him having like an aside with the judge, like kind of I feel like they try to be real with the courtroom stuff as much as possible they can fit in 40 minutes.
Yes and no. I mean, it's always like the television courtroom dramas that are done really, really well. They really get into the minutia of what it is like to be in a courtroom, and television dramas that don't do it well, the lawyers say really clippy shit and then they move on. And I feel like that's what we're getting with the Daredevil courtroom stuff. It's like opening statements, interviews,
There's no filing of paperwork and stuff. It's just them having a quick chat and then him getting his way.
Yeah, it's very unrealistic and I feel this way. I feel like we've never seen an effective lawyer scene where Daredevil is like, that's a good lawyer. I'd hire that lawyer. Like, I never feel that way. I'm like, is that what being a lawyer is? I could do that.
Yeah. Like the just him. Well, and then also like the whole thing about like the cops are the bad guys is, because they're all like, they're intimidating somebody. I'm like, there, and then with like the whole kind of parallel of who Fisk is kind of being in this season, I'm like, they're trying to be modern with it, and I'm like, yeah, we can we all know who he is. Like, but
it just seemed like he really turned a new leaf with the character, and he's like supposed to be like really leaning into this mayor thing. And I was like, that's really cool. Like, it's good. It's working. He looks like he's enjoying being mayor. And then with this newest episode with Daredevil coming back, he just like a switch flipped. And he didn't go back to like, that's the guy you don't fuck with, Kingpin. He was like, he put me in jail and it was wrong because I'm always right. And Daredevil hurt a lot of people. And it's like, that's not Kingpin. Kingpin knows that he's not the good guy. Like, he understands that he has made some choices that he had to make and they weren't good, but he's justified them to himself. This Kingpin is saying like, I was legally right. I never did anything wrong. And Daredevil locked me up anyway. And it was really unfair of him to do that. That's not Kingpin.
And then are they do it like in the comics, Kingpin is like huge.
Yes.
Are they setting that up for him to be bigger? Like, are they going to force perspective? Because they have a thing where he puts on his jacket and it rips. And they're like, oh, we'll have to get you like a different wardrobe. Is that just to change his wardrobe?
No.
Like...
So what that is that in Echo, they did this thing where they put these really squared blazers on him to make him look bigger, like comic book Kingpin, and it looked goofy as shit.
Okay.
Like, it looked really goofy. It didn't work. And so they dialed it back down for this, and they put him in like more form-fitting suits. But what they were supposed to be showing you whenever he did that is that he had Vanessa's boyfriend trapped in a cellar, and his muscles were getting bigger because he was beating the shit out of this guy every night.
Oh, okay.
And so what it was showing was that he hasn't, while he has been largely sedentary with like fighting and stuff and violence for a while now, and maybe he's gotten a little bit smaller. Now that he's nightly beating the shit out of this guy, he's starting to build some muscle back up. And so he ripped his jacket.
Like, I don't think he's like someone who just gets bigger and bigger. Like, I was like, is that something I didn't know in the comics? But okay, that makes sense. I missed that, went over my head because of the second screen thing.
Another thing I mentioned when we did the review of episode 1 is that whenever he's fighting Bullseye's throwing knives and they're going right into him. And it was very well established in the Netflix series that when he got the Daredevil suit, it was bulletproof and it was cut resistant, and like bullets just bounced off of it. So he didn't die or get shot. And so when that first happened, we were thinking like maybe it required the acceleration of a bullet to like stop it. Like what's that like liquid that you can slap and it stops your hand, but if you like go slowly,
non-Newtonian
fluid. Like non-Newtonian fluid. So maybe that was the case, like it was a non-Newtonian kind of situation where if you kind of slowly
like the shields
like
from
stab
Doom.
somebody, it doesn't do the same thing as like a bullet impact. But in this episode, Muse clearly slices his suit. Like, not stabs through it, slices through it, and that suit was definitely cut proof. Definitely may not be stab proof, but it was definitely cut proof.
He grabbed the wrong one. He regrets defending.
I am going to go out on a limb and say that they haven't mentioned it, and they probably won't address it. But that Daredevil suit is retconned out. The suit that he's wearing in this is not bulletproof and not cut proof. It is just a bodysuit. And it's not armor. It's just a cool Daredevil suit. So I think that's gone completely. Based on the fact that Muse cut right through it with a knife, that's gone completely. The bulletproof Daredevil suit's gone. So Daredevil is way more shootable than he was previously. And that makes more sense as to why Bullseye's knives went right into his body and didn't hit any kind of armor.
He had so many of those knives too. I mean, I assume he came prepared, but oh boy, I just kept being like, he still has more.
He's got more knives. Well, he had like a belt of knives around both legs and then completely around his body. And I think he had them on his arms. So he had a lot of knives.
Plenty to choose from.
And I don't know if they were like 2 or 3 deep in there too. Like he might have been like taking 3 out of each. I don't know. It was a lot of knives though. You're right. He threw a lot of knives in that episode, but you also don't know how many he picked back up. So he could have ricocheted him back into his own hand. I have no idea. But anyway, that is our review of Daredevil episode 7. If you disagree, if you want to call me an idiot, throw it in the chat. I don't care. But I'm very underwhelmed with this season. I wanted it to be the second coming, and it just isn't. I did want to speak to Jessica Jones. Season 1 was great. It was visceral. It was tense. It was claustrophobic at times, and it really brought the like terror of what the Purple Man could do. And season 2 she just like goes from like full on like fighting people to like throwing people left and right, and that's all she does. That's every fight in this show. There's no choreography. She grabs someone, she throws them this way, and then she grabs them, she throws them this way again. And that's every fight that she does in the season. It was just very, very different from the first season that was done so well. And Luke Cage, both its seasons are kind of good. Season 2 does take a steep dip in quality. You could tell Netflix was getting out of the Marvel superhero game at that point. But I will say, Daredevil season 2, I don't think there's anything that stands above it. It's the best. Jesse J. Stewart said, "You're an idiot." Well, it does require you to be at a level of knowledge equal to, if not greater than me, to judge that. So I'm going to pin that on the Dunning-Kruger effect. Feel free to Google that, but I understand. I'm JK. I just wanted to say that. I appreciate you at least commenting, and thank you for tuning in, Jesse. That being said, that is our review of Daredevil season 7. And speaking of things that we did enjoy this week on the hit list, we're talking about our 5 favorite artists. It's okay. Randy's going to get these segues down.
Fully zoned out as you
He's
said
so
that.
close.
Fully zoned out as you said that.
He's almost there.
Why.
Welcome to the hit list. This week we are talking about our 5 favorite artists. Guys, go ahead and get your lists in the chat now. Starting at number 5, we will count our way down to number 1. And so it's artists from anything. It can be like physical artists, it can be comic book artists, it can be musical artists, video game artists, any kind of art. It doesn't matter. Whatever you consider to be art, that's because that's completely up to you. You know, it's subjective. But Randy, would you be so kind as to give me your number 5?
My number 5 is the animation team behind Frieren Beyond Journey's End, which turns out to be Madhouse. I didn't know that ahead of time, but they're pretty much behind any gorgeous anime you can think of. Frieren is like particularly one of my current favorites. If you haven't seen it, it's like a elf. She's finished a battle with a demon king is where the show picks up. It's a 10-year journey with like her and 2 humans and a dwarf. She experiences time on a different scale than everybody else, because even the dwarves live like 500 years where she can live for thousands. So the 10-year journey that they went on is kind of like not even a drop in a bucket for her. And she it jumps through time, like forward in time, like years at a time. And she kind of just experiences life and like how the journey has changed her, and like having these close friends, even if it was just for 10 years, can like change you dramatically. But Madhouse is behind Van Helsing Ultimate, I believe. Death Note, I know, season 1, which is apparently the best season of One Punch Man so far. A movie called Summer War, which I've seen most of, and I can attest that it's gorgeous. But yeah, as Frieren, it's just kind of my shout out to Frieren and how beautiful that show is.
I love Frieren. That's one of my favorite anime probably of the last like 15 years. It's so good.
For as new as it is, it's like nearly flawless as far as like season 1, which, you know, every show can kind of crap their pants in season 2 and beyond.
Yeah, it's just gorgeous.
I don't believe it will.
Like, out of story aside, and the story is incredible. You might click it back to the comments so we can see what people are saying. Story aside, the art is fucking beautiful. Like, it's so good. But yeah, Eric Johnson in the chat. What up, Eric? He said Noise Frieren is very well done. Yeah, Frieren is beautiful, and we were talking about it before we went live. But Frieren is just one of it's a rare thing in the anime world to not be rife with fan service. Like there's a little bit of like love interest and stuff going on there, but they don't sexualize Frieren at all. Like other than her butt hanging out of a mimic, her butt hanging out of a mimic every once in a while. They don't sexualize any of the female characters in it. they just treat them as equal warriors, and it's so good. The story is so good. Frieren is knowledgeable, she's able, she's more powerful than almost anyone in the show, and she's very humble about it. And she's training other people to be on her level, which means that they're all above what the average person is, and she's got this like legendary ability that nobody's seen in so long. She's humble about it, and not that women have to be humble, but it's just so cool that she's not like an annoying anime character. She's not like the bossy violent lady. She's just like normal. And that's true of the entire cast. They're just people, and I think that's the best thing about Frieren. It subverts a lot of the tropes.
She's like, it's if you've seen Solo Leveling, I won't compare it exactly to that, but like she's on a level where like, in most of the fights, like she's not in any, like they're not truly in any danger, or she's not, but like they still are able to have like stakes and emotions. And like, even though it's like, well, she's defeated something way stronger than this, but the way they tell the story, and like I think most episodes are like 2 separate stories, like 15 minutes.
A lot of times,
tell like a huge like emotional story in 15 minutes, and then they travel on to the next place, and it's just each episode has its like own unique like beauty about it, and I adore it.
What do we have in chat? I see we've got some number 5s up there. I think starting with that one, yeah.
Number 5 from Nightmare and Nerdscape's Boris Vallejo,
probably. Or it could be Vallejo. I don't know. I'm very white. I apologize. I don't know who that is, but Nightmare and Nerdscapes, I'm sure they're incredible. What else we got?
Story Love, Matthew Nava, art director for the game company, and the illustrator behind Journey, one of the most beautiful games of all time.
Journey is gorgeous.
I've seen the art of Journey. I've not played it.
Journey is gorgeous, and it's a blast. It's a blast to play. It's a very easy game to play beginning to end on accident, because it's so fluid, it's so fun, and you don't really notice time passing. It's a beautiful game, its ilk has rarely been replicated. Jennifer Johnson is in the chat. Jen, glad you are here. Jen will be joining us as another host of the show in a couple of weeks. Jen, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. And then I saw Eric said, yes, I am so tired of cliche characters. It's true. And honestly, right now, I can say as an anime fan, the anime titles that I am enjoying the most are ones that subvert the norms. I think it kind of started with time I got reincarnated as a slime, whereas instead of this being this insanely powerful, or like a poor kid from a farm who finds a magic weapon, or, an alien who, learns to be the strongest fighter of all time, Slime really deals with his insecurities, the fact that he, wasn't super popular, and he's kind of weird at home, and then got reincarnated as a slime and is figuring out a whole nother life. But like that, Solo Leveling, Frieren, and I think my favorite subversion of the isekai genre to date is Shangri-La Frontier.
I started that. I haven't gotten very far into it.
The thing I love about Shangri-La Frontier
characters
like the bird mask
head,
is that he's like a trash gamer, and he's just kind of a shithead. But like the thing I love about Shangri-La Frontier is that like with a Sword Art Online, they're trapped in there and people actually die or whatever. But in Shangri-La Frontier, he can log out at any time. He's just playing video games for funsies. So whenever they bring the like really big stakes in the game, and it's like, oh my god, he's gonna die, but like he's not. He's a gamer. He's just playing some games, but you get caught up in it, even though that's not the case in that series. Eric Johnson said Dandadan. Fuck yeah, Dandadan was awesome too.
That was like on my honorable mentions was good anime openings, like animation or just the music. And that Dandadan was what was going to be.
Dandadan's title music just gets stuck in my head sometimes. I'll just be walking around going Dandadan.
Mashal does the same. It's the same artist that does Mashal, and theirs is just as catchy.
Yeah, Mashal is super catchy too. I love Mashal. Mashal's a good one too. I enjoy that one. And one more. It just ended. It was only 12 episodes. The entire series is only 12 episodes, and it's incredible. Another one that subverts the isekai model, Zenshu. Zenshu was incredible. It's only 12 episodes. It's beginning, middle, ended already. It's already done. You haven't missed the bus. It just aired its last episode, but Zenshu is gorgeous. It is an homage to classic anime while also giving us that beautiful Mappa style that we have grown to love. But it is just a gorgeous anime with a beautiful story that is well told, and it's about nerds getting to do what nerds love to do. Like, that's the main thing about the series, and I cannot recommend it enough.
That's one I haven't watched, but I have wrote it down because I love a like little contained story.
Zenshu's good.
Things go a little too long, but I love a little contained story.
Kelvin Cately, the father of DFPN, our network, has said, I started Zenshu and can confirm. Dude, it's so good. Let me know when you're done with it. Very excited. Is that all of our number fives?
It looks like that's all that I have so far.
Cool. My number five is the surrealist painter Salvador Dali. Salvador Dali has been one of my favorite artists since I was a teenager. I came to admire him in high school. I did a lot of copies of his artwork, The Melting Clocks, which is known as The Persistence of Memory. That's the name of that painting. But Dali has just such a crazy, like, kind of sinister, but like what's going on. It gives me a little bit of like Wrinkle in Time vibes whenever I look at his stuff. And his artwork is beautiful. And Dali was such a weird dude, and I can vibe with that. Like, I'm a weird gentleman myself, so I think he's really cool. I almost wanted to call you Landon. Randy, right. What do you have for number four?
My number four is I went kind of abstract with all these, but pixel artists for game design. And these are some of the, like, I don't know about biggest ones. I don't know if Dome Keepers is really a big one, but a game that uses pixel art. Honestly, I don't know if Stardew Valley is considered pixel art. I just threw it on there because it's popular.
You're killing me. I put these four things on here and they may not be it.
Yeah. Well, Dome Keepers is pixel art, but okay. It says pixel graphics, I think, there for Stardew Valley. But all these games are incredibly fun or popular. Like Balatro is like an independently made game, and it's pixel art, and it's fantastic. And it almost was nominated for Game of the Year last year.
Oh, wow.
Which like made some people mad because it was going up against like AAA games.
I'm sure those people were even more pissed whenever Astrobot won.
Okay, I couldn't remember which one won.
Yeah,
but I do.
Astrobot won Game of the Year, and the like hardcore AAA gamers were pissed.
But all of these games are like incredibly fun, and like the music is also like not pixel music, but like if you the music
like
all
lower
these games,
five,
yeah,
like
all
NES,
these games have
SNES.
like wonderful soundtracks, and they're just some of my favorites. I haven't played that much Stardew Valley, but like all of my friends adore it, and I've played, and what I've played I've adored. But like Balatro is, have you ever played it? Oh my gosh,
I haven't played any of the games you just showed.
I've only gotten into Dave the Diver recently, but it's very fun.
I have Dave the Diver. I haven't played it.
I buy so many games and haven't played them. So the fact that I haven't played that with Stardew Valley. Dome Keepers is just you mine and get resources, and then like you fight off aliens. It's kind of Starship Troopers, where like
you're going to put the comments up so I can see them while
technically
you're
on their planet.
talking.
Oops, sorry.
You're good.
But yeah, they and then Balatro is just a card game. It's so addictive, but it's a card game, like a poker game, but then you get like different jokers that make the game just go off the rails with like the rule changes and the multipliers and stuff. And then Stardew Valley is just cozy farming and going into caves and whatnot and fishing and everything. Dave the Diver is you fish by day, and then you sell that fish at a sushi shop at night, and you have to like run the whole restaurant and stuff. It's very fun.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Just pixel art games just seem to be like to scratch that itch, like aesthetically and like gameplay wise, because it's not like overly complicated, but it's very very, I don't know what the word is, wonderful, I guess.
Yeah. What was I'm drawing a blank on the name of Messenger. Is it Messenger? No. What's the game where you have the like interchangeable like flame heads and
Dead Cells.
Dead Cells. Yeah. Dead Cells was awesome. I
Yes.
played the shit out of that game.
Another one that I put way too many hours on and then kind of dropped out of nowhere. But
yeah, I think Messenger was the ninja game. It's kind of like the old school Ninja Gaiden, like side scrolling pixel art. I played that for a little bit, and then this one isn't pixel art, but I think it kind of falls in the same realm. But Hollow Knight.
Mm-hmm.
I love Hollow Knight.
I'm not a good enough gamer to play Hollow Knight because I've heard it gets hard in spots, and I've not made it very far in it, even if it doesn't get very hard. But
yeah,
but it's the aesthetics are always like the side scrolling, like any kind of roguelite, like that is, I love it.
So Eric Johnson said, I feel Salvador is the father of the surreal. He definitely was integral to the surrealist movement. Willie McCoy said the retro 8-bit gaming look is undefeated. It's wild with how powerful systems are nowadays with such realistic graphics. These indie games feel so great. And then Eric said, I love the free cell art. I think he meant cell shading art of the Borderlands series. It's great to watch the action. I do love Borderlands. It looks really good. But yeah, I will also say, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but Marvel just announced a new side-scrolling like arcade fighting style game like they did with Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget what it's called. It's like Marvel. Let's see, Marvel. Somebody will probably put it in the comments before I can find it.
There was a game that I used to play online. It was called Marvel Avengers Alliance. Did you ever play it? Or
Avengers Alliance? Yeah.
Is it Avengers Alliance? It was like a Facebook game, and you could play
Marvel Cosmic Invasion. It's a 2D action brawler from Tribute Games. And it is, if you played Shredder's Revenge, which was a great Ninja Turtles game that brought you back to the old arcade cabinet style games, they are dropping one of those for Marvel characters. And it is Wolverine, Captain America, Nova. I forget who else is. Let's see. I forget who all the playable characters are. And it doesn't have. Let's see.
I used to play the X-Men
the list, but
cabinet a lot.
Let's see. I want to run down the list of playable characters because it was pretty stacked. Marvel Invasion playable characters. So it's Nova Phyla-Vell, who's like the female Marvel, or Captain Marvel. Captain America, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Storm, and Venom are your playable characters out of the box. Of course, they will probably be adding characters as they go, but it looks like a blast. Anyone who played the 6-person X-Men arcade cabinet ever knows what this game is about, and I cannot wait to play this with a bunch of friends for a long time. I'm very excited about this. But anyway, what do we have in the chat?
Let's see. Story Love says their number 4 is Stephen Gamel. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yes, if you've ever seen the covers to Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, they are creepy as shit. And then I was reading a little bit ahead there. Nightmares and Nerdscapes, they put Luis Royo, and give me just a second because I have to go out to my other bookshelf. I'll be right back.
There is, if you go on, if you go on Amazon, I've seen there's a book called that kind of goes with scary stories to tell in the dark. I'm trying to find the author, but it's called Scary Stories to Make You Scared of Stories. And I haven't bought it, but I like the cover itself is very riffing on Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and the cover is just a big Dracula who is holding a gun and pointing it like at the holder of the book. But yeah, let me see if I can find the author of that.
I'm glad I looked this up. So as soon as I saw the name, I Googled it because I knew it sounded familiar. The Wayfarer Redemption series by Sarah Douglas. Luis Royo did all of the cover art for these, and it is incredible looking. It is a great book series. It kind of skirts that romantasy line that people are currently finding. There's a lot of like adult things in it, adult relationship things, some sexual tension, that kind of stuff. And yes, so Nightmares and Nerdscapes, yes, another fan. I love Wayfarer Redemption. I have the whole series. Everyone I talk to who is a fan of Romantasy, I push them towards this series because they're missing out. Anyway, what else we got?
I think it was just those two for number 4s, but we have some other comments.
That's okay. I am going to go ahead and move on to my number 4. Willie McQuay said there was one story that will stay with me forever from those books. It was the one where the kid has a spider egg in his face, and when it hatched, they burst through his skin, and his face was covered in baby spiders. Crazy story that actually happened to one of my high school history teachers. Ooh. He had a cut on his face and got a spider egg. A spider laid an egg in it, and in the middle of class, it opened up on him.
That is haunting.
That's a real thing. That happens to real people.
Yes, that is pure nightmare fuel. That is correct.
Anyway, moving along, my number 4 is actually a musical artist, and he is the singer for my favorite song of all time, Black Hole Sun, and that is Chris Cornell. Chris Cornell was one of the rarest kind of vocalists in that he did not conform to typical singing standards or the model that a lot of your like radio friendly music did, and he did not he didn't follow anybody else's pattern. Chris Cornell was very much just himself as a singer. There's no other vocalist like him, and he had a magic to him that has not been replicated by anyone to date that I'm aware of. But he was just incredible. Black Hole Sun is my favorite song of all time, but also just anything by Soundgarden is just fucking incredible. Every bit. Spoon Man, incredible. Just that whole album is awesome. Like they don't have a bad song, so can't speak highly enough about them, but Chris Cornell is my number 4. Randy, what do you have for your number 3?
My number 3 is a YouTube channel. It features 4 artists. It's called Drawfee. I don't know if we cross promote on here.
Sure,
but,
absolutely.
I absolutely adore them. I've been watching them for years. It's made me like want to become a better artist because what they do is absolutely incredible. It started out as My Morning Drawfee, like play on My Morning Coffee, and it was Nathan Yaffe and Caldwell Tanner. Caldwell Tanner's not on the D&D podcast now, but they both started it when they worked at College Humor, and then the other people kind of joined up and like as they were employees there, and it's just every week they have a new prompt, and they say they take dumb ideas and make even dumber drawings. It's Nathan Yaffe, Julia Lepetit, Karina Farik, and Jacob Andrews, and they are just 4 artists that like they're comedians, they're artists, they are funny with what they draw, and then they're also just stunning artists. Like what they can do is crazy. Sometimes it's just doodles, other times they just absolutely flex on each other and everyone watching with how great of art they can do.
Have you seen the Game Changer episode that Nathan Yaffe was on?
Yeah. I think it was
he's
where
really good.
They
do like the Pokemon cards
and stuff,
and they do the face painting, and they do like a big T-shirt, and like it's just so funny. He's so funny.
Yes.
But it was nice to see him come back to his College Humor roots. Remember my son Damien? He's a big fan of Drawfee, and I was watching that episode. He walked in and he's like, "Is that Nathan Yaffe?" And I was like, "It is." And he's like, "Why is he?" And he like, as he's saying it, like steps around the couch and sit down. He's like, "Why is he on here?"
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, the power of Nathan.
They're so good. And then like my favorite one just rotates through because they're just always, one of them just does an amazing job or just like says something. And I'm like, because they like do like a draw class thing that you can watch and kind of like learn from them and stuff. And they're funny, they're profound. It's awesome. But yeah, and then seeing them on like different dropout shows, like it's cool to see them kind of be back. And then Caldwell will come on to their show every once in a while, and that's always fun.
I listened to Not Another D&D podcast, and Caldwell is hilarious.
Yes.
So.
I honestly, when I started Drawfee, I didn't like Caldwell very much. Like I was like, oh my gosh, and then like I've grown to love his humor. Just he's grown on me so much, and like NatPod is one of my favorite shows. Like it could be on here as my favorite artist, but I didn't go that far from it. But yeah, that whole channel, I've watched it for years at this point, and just fantastic all around.
What else do we have in chat?
We have
I see a number 3 there, and it looks like Eric Johnson threw up a number 4.
Yeah. With number 3 from Nightmare and Nerdscapes, H.R. Geiger.
Fuck yeah, H.R. Geiger. So if you're not familiar with H.R. Geiger, he did the original Alien design in Aliens. He also did he was the designer for a little film called Species, which is incredible and one of the most sexually violent alien creatures that's ever been designed. Those of you who are nu metal fans, if you've ever seen Korn live post like 2001-ish, he designed a mic stand for Jonathan Davis that Jonathan Davis still uses to this day, where it's like a woman's body and rib cage, and it comes up, and then the head is the mic stand, and the mic comes out of the forehead, and it's really cool. H.R. Geiger is a legendary artist, and he sees the world in a way that we could only wish to see it.
We're going to bounce back to the number 4, Eric Johnson's Banana Joe's Mama. If you know, you know.
Banana Joe's mom. I had to Google this, Eric, so thank you for that. Banana Joe's mom is a recurring character in the amazing world of Gumball. She's Banana Joe's mother and wife of Banana Bob. She and her husband first appeared in The Responsible. So I didn't know, but now I know. And I guess she does art. I don't know. What else we got?
Story Love says Beatrix Potter, known for a children's book Peter Rabbit, but became an illustrator from her work recording mushrooms and fungi.
Yeah, sounds like she knows who to party with.
Yeah.
The fun guys. Is that all of the?
I believe. Hell yeah, best mic stand.
Serena Best of 9 Stewart, my beautiful niece, in the chat. My number 3, thankfully, he's been one of my favorite artists for a while, and I only know him from the con circuit. So I've seen him at like Wizard World and then Fan Expo, both St. Louis and Chicago. I just saw him at Kansas City's Planet Comic-Con, and when we were talking to him there at Planet Comic-Con, I was asking him what his availability was because we had CinemaCon coming up this coming weekend, and he had the weekend open, and he bought a booth and is coming to CinemaCon. So one of my favorite artists of all time is going to be at CinemaCon, and I cannot wait to see him. And that is Nate Jones, who is from Nate Jones Art. You can find him on Instagram, but this is what he does. He takes characters, be they fantasy characters, actors, whatever they are, and he turns their face into a quote of something that they have said, and it is beautiful, and they're touching, and he does great work, and I cannot speak highly enough of him, and I cannot wait to hang out with him for the weekend. It's going to be really cool. But yeah, check out Nate Jones, and if you're coming to CinemaCon, I highly recommend you buy one of his prints. I was actually telling Story Love and her husband at the house the other day that Nate Jones is such an incredible artist that at one of the St. Louis cons we were at, he was there selling his art and his prints, and somebody like 3 booths around the corner from him was also selling his art and his prints against his permission.
I was gonna say, I have seen that art at cons. I don't know if it was him or what you're saying.
If it's Nate, you'll know, because Nate's like the guy. He just stands there. He's a very handsome man, so it's easy to know if you talk to Nate or not. But like the person that was bootlegging Nate's art right around the corner from him was a huge piece of shit. So yeah, if it's Nate, you'll know. He's a really great guy, and he loves his art and he loves the nerd community. So, but yeah, that is my number 3. Rando, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is kind of building off of Drawfee, because that's where I first learned of him. His name is Spencer Wan, and his studio is Studio Grackle, which he mainly created to do the Hades 1 trailer.
Ooh.
Which is wonderful. The Hades 2 trailer, which is what I have up here, is phenomenal. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you've played it.
I've played Hades.
Yeah, like Hades 2 is it's still I might have gotten the 1.0.
Yeah, I'm a gamer. So I have Hades on my Mac.
Yeah. I love Hades. It's one of the games that I go back to and just dive into and keep going because I'm not good at it, so I
Yeah.
die a lot and get to play it. But I first saw him on Drawfee. He's friends with Karina. They went to school together as for animation.
Nerd.
He's been like on animation teams that we've talked about and
Click the comments
like
while you're
already
doing that.
and including he did I think the opening for Vox Machina. He's worked on Into the Spider-Verse, Owl City, or not Owl City, the Owl House, and season 1 of Castlevania. He was the art director.
Ooh, Castlevania is gorgeous.
Yes.
Willie McCoy says, I love Hades. That game is so beautiful and so fun to play.
Mm-hmm. The like he's made a joke saying like, oh, I think this animation got better after season 1 because he didn't work on it after season 1, but season 1 is still stunning and gorgeous. And like he's on an episode where he just animates like a quick animation of Trevor doing like a little whip move in the style of Owl House, and the speed at which he cracks that out and it, like the art that he can do so fast as an animator is insane. But yeah, so he's my number 2. Can't say enough good things about him. He's just pretty much any like gorgeous animation you've seen, he's probably had a hand in.
Gorgeous artwork. Hades is one of the, like, there's a reason it has such a lasting effect and has been moved around to so many different platforms. Like, it started out as a PC game, then came to Steam, and then Xbox, and then PlayStation. Like, everybody's got it now. It's a beautiful game and it's fun to play. So I totally get it. What do we got in chat?
We got a number 3 from Eric Johnson. Miyazaki, his art makes me want to go back to Japan. It makes me hungry.
So Hayao Miyazaki from Studio Ghibli. His art is incredible, and the Calcifer could make me breakfast any day of the week. That's on the table for sure.
We got number 2 for Story Love, Arthur Rackman, illustrator for many classic written works. If you aren't sure if you've seen his art, yes, you have.
Trying to look it up.
Yes.
Arthur Rackman. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've seen this. Oh yeah, just a really ethereal art style. Very fey. I would say it's like a fey art style if I had to, or like maybe like an Arthurian like mix.
German folk tale.
Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. I like that. What else we got in chat?
I think that is all for number 2.
I think you've got some space to scroll down, or are you at the bottom? You're at the bottom. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 2. It is the guy that made Spider-Man able to squint, and that is Humberto Ramos. The comic. He's still a prolific comic artist, but he is the artist that made it so that Spider-Man's eyes moved independently of each other, and he could like raise one eyebrow or squint or make facial expressions other than just having the stock lenses. And that is one of the best things that was ever added to the Spider-Man comics. And for those of you who aren't aware, that was added into the MCU with the lenses that open and close on Peter's costume. That was Humberto Ramos who introduced that idea in the comics. And then they went about using it for because prior to that they were always static lenses. And he started having
motion and whatnot.
Yeah, he started having Spider-Man like when he was talking. And I feel really bad about this. I have the Humberto Ramos Spider-Man figure and I can't find it. So I have a bunch of them up here, all the different styles, but the Humberto Ramos one isn't up there, and I do have it somewhere. I just don't know where the hell it's at. But it's very cool. And of course, once that went into the comics, it of course extended to Deadpool, which we have of course seen in the Deadpool comics or the Deadpool movie as well, where they CGI his eyes so that they move whenever they're actually static lenses on the costume. But yeah, it was a great idea that he introduced. It was very much like revolutionary in the way that Todd McFarlane changed Spider-Man's webs from looking like fishing nets to looking like ropes. It was just his addition to the mythos of Spider-Man. Nightmare and Nerdscape threw up another number 2, and this one's a really good one too. Frank Frazetta is incredible. One of my favorite comic artists. He does, I believe, off the top of my head, I believe he's the one that did like the Conan the Barbarian art for a long time.
Yeah, looks.
Yeah,
That's what
he did a lot of like that. It's that like very gritty, very like 1980s metal album art. Yeah, he did a lot of the like the Savage Adventures of Conan and just some other really cool stuff. He's got like space adventure stuff. He's got medieval stuff. And his art style is just gorgeous. It's like that pseudo realistic like art style where thank you, Nightmares and Nerdscapes. And it's just cool. It's just really cool. So yeah, it's like what you would see on the cover of a D&D book. That's Frank Frazetta. That's what he does. But yeah, sorry, I'm kind of lost in looking at his art. I think that's all of our number twos.
I got one more.
Oh, go
Eric
ahead.
Johnson, Dave McKean from American Gods graphic novel.
Let me see. Dave McKean. I'm not off the top of my head familiar with his art. Dave McKean art. Let's see. Oh yeah. He worked with Neil Gaiman a lot. Sandman. There's a lot. Hold on. Let me find it real quick. Like it's up here somewhere.
I can't even like fathom how to even start making art like that. Like it's gorgeous and like it's just beyond anything I could like comprehend to make as art.
Where's my Sandman graphic novel? Did you take it, Randy?
No,
Damn it, Randy,
I
I
do
told you
think
not
I've
to touch
seen
my
it
stuff.
though. I do think I walked by and saw it and was like, "Ooh, Sandman."
Did you?
I
see. Now, here's another one. Here's another great artist that I saw it and I was like, is that it? But here's David Mack's Kabuki. This is also incredible art. David Mack does a great job. His art style is incredible. Well, now I feel bad.
It's not behind your Death Note.
No, this is Terry Goodkind.
Okay.
That's all Terry Goodkind stuff. It's somewhere. I might have loaned it out to somebody. I have a bad habit of doing that, loaning my shit out and never getting it back. Anyway, I'll find it. I apologize. I do have it, but the Sandman stuff is great. There's a reason those graphic novels have such a standing fan service for them. Also, this I forgot about this, but when he did the what is the name of the Batman series he did? It's like Batman Long
Halloween?
No, it's like the Long Dark Night or something, where Batman kills the Joker at the end of it.
I can't think of it now that I'm.
Let's see. That is Batman Arkham Asylum was what it was. He did that. It's the one where at the end of it, the Joker.
Oh no, the Killing Joke is that?
No,
one?
not Killing
Okay,
Joke.
okay.
It's Arkham Asylum.
Arkham Asylum.
Anyway, I'm mixing up my comic stories. I was gonna say that's the one where Joker's super sane at the end of it, but that's actually not that one. That's that was a story by Kevin Smith. So I take it back. Anyway, Dave McKean, great artist, awesome, love it. Do we have any other number twos in the chat?
We do not.
My my number two was Humberto Ramos. Already did that. It's okay. The vibe's off, but we got this. Randy, for the first time solo in the studio with me, are you ready to give me your number one? Randy, your number one, please.
My number one is let's see, it's Tom Cardy and Montaigne, mainly Montaigne, but Tom Cardy is secondary. They're two Australian artists. I love both of them. They have like a collaboration together, which is how I found Tom Cardy. You've probably seen him on TikTok. He's on a D&D podcast as well.
What's the name of the podcast he's on?
He like guest stars on it. I think it's like Same Dragon or I had it down. I don't think I wrote it down.
Let me look it up while you're talking. What is his name?
Tom Cardy. like Tom Hardy, but with a C. But he is mainly a comedian. You've probably seen him on TikTok. He has a song that went kind of viral on there called Perception Check.
Oh, I know him.
Yes. And then he has a song with Montaigne called Red Flags. I'm not going to spoil anything about it because it has like it's fantastic. It's a comedy song. They're going on a date
The Dragon
together.
Friends.
Dragon Friends. But they go on a date together, and he talks about how the date's going really well. But he doesn't realize that he's I guess saying it retrospectively, where he's about to have the fright of his life. And that's all I'll say about it. Cause after this, you got to go listen to it. It's like 3 minutes. It's amazing. Montaigne is also Australian. They are like singer-songwriter. They're in, one of the big things they've done is, Stray Gods. Have you ever played that game?
I've not.
It's a role-playing, musical. And it has Ashley Bailey, I believe, is the main character's, or Laura Bailey is the main character's voice. Yeah. Ashley Johnson is like one of her friends who plays a muse, who she like arrives at her apartment and dies, and like her powers are passed on to Grace, I believe is the main character's name, Laura Bailey.
So it's Santa Claus rules.
Yeah. But now she's being accused of her murder because it happened in her apartment, and she has her powers now, and she has to like move through the world and like sings, and your choices of like song lyrics change like the outcome. And there's other voices that you've heard like that let's see, Felicia Day, Erica Ege, Troy Baker. Oof. There's more. Those are the ones I wrote down, but she wrote songs for that, which is really cool. Or they wrote songs for that.
Laura Bailey is an incredible singer.
Yes, like the trailer that I've seen, like that made me want to buy this game. Incredible.
Yeah.
And they're all really good.
Dynamic voice. Like I've seen her in concert. She is incredible.
Does she have like a band, or
she does like I've seen where she does like video games that she has sung songs for. She performs them live with like an orchestra.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's really cool.
And then they are My Brother and Me is another podcast that I love. They do the main theme for that, for the newer episodes. They've done it for like several years now, but they're just an incredible artist. They have, I think, 3 albums. They're like, both of them are a combination of like nerd, comedy, musical talent, which is just something I lack fully. Like you talked about musical artists, and I just, all of it's over my head. Yeah. I have zero taste in music.
Who's your favorite band? You will be judged.
I don't even ask. Probably Montaigne. I don't.
Okay.
But second runner up, I'm gonna get judged really harshly. I'm pretty sure. Imagine Dragons.
I'm judging you pretty harshly for that.
I vibe with them so much. Like they're very poppy. Like I caught onto them because I played League of Legends. I probably get judged for that too. But I love them. I haven't listened to them much like recently, but that's just because that's how my music goes. But I'll find one song and just like stick to it and listen to it 1,000 times. And I've done that with pretty much all of Montaigne's songs. But yeah, they are like individually, they're both incredible. Together, they're also incredible. I think they've collabed since then. I think there's another song called I'll See You Online. It's also incredible, but Red Flags is like what started it for me. Like, because I knew Montaigne, and then collabing with Tom Cardy, and I just followed Tom Cardy since then. His songs are just funny and just telling a story and stupid and fantastic. But that's my number one.
My brother just said Jonah loves Imagine Dragons. He's like 8 years old, dude. Like I won't judge him as hard as this grown man sitting to my right. But
I know I'll be judged, but like I can't tell you how many people were talking crap on them, and then we're just also singing Thunder.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because they're earworms, and I love earworms.
Right. Catchy songs don't necessarily mean that you're either a good or bad musician. Having a bop, there's nothing wrong with that. I can't honestly, off the top of my head, think of any reason why I wouldn't like Imagine Dragons, other than the fact that they have a name that invokes bliss in me, and their music does not do the same. I do want to imagine dragons. You say that, I'm like, oh yeah. Dragons are cool. And then I hear their music and I'm like, what does the dragon have to do with it? Where's the dragon?
I've never imagined.
Why do you make me think about dragons and don't have songs about dragons? Imagine Dragons. Why would you do that to me?
I mean, there's thunder dragons.
Yeah, but that's not what they're singing about, Randy.
Yeah. There's radioactive dragons.
That's not what they're singing about, Randy. And there
I'm-
are no
I'm-
radioactive. Well, there are radioactive
I mean,
dragons.
there
they're
should be,
they're
though.
kaiju. You're talking
Okay,
about
there we
Ghidorah. But anyway,
Story loves
You
number one
nerds.
to get away from me being judged for my lack of musical taste. But Montaigne is awesome, and Tom Hardy's really funny, and together they're funny. So that should redeem my musical taste a little bit. Watch everybody listen to them and not enjoy it. But,
yeah, go ahead with Story Loves number one.
Sean Lohman, a unique, heartfelt artist with some of the most fun and interesting work I've ever seen.
Yes, Sean Lohman is an incredible artist. Some of his art hangs in my house. He is also a very good friend of mine, and he does do very, like, I think actually I'm going to go get a piece of his artwork. So talk amongst yourself. I do want to show it off. He did a custom piece for me. And then I'm going to grab another friend that's going to be an honorable mention for me. So I'll be right back.
And you can all lambaste me in the comments for my Imagine Dragon takes.
You used the word lambast. You just confused the fuck out of everyone.
I don't know if I used it right either. I'll just riff on Montaigne some more and Tom Hardy. He has also been in composed music for Hell of a Boss. If you've watched Hell of a Boss on YouTube. I mean, yeah. Virgin Dragons is fair. But they're still just, I can't even think of a song besides Radioactive and Thunder, but I've listened to every one of their songs so many times. I agree with it. I'm going to leave this comment up the whole time. It definitely does slap. Yes, they're catchy as hell. It's obnoxious. That's one of the reasons I love it. I love a song that I can listen to for like 40 minutes straight over and over. It was with us the whole time.
Yeah. The true art was the friends we made along the way.
It's like Sam Reich, but in a drawing form. He's been here the whole time.
Yeah. Serena Best and I Stewart said, dude, Imagine Dragons slaps. You lost my respect for your taste in music when you started listening to the country, Serena. Let's see. Nightmares and Nerdscape said they're catchy as hell. It's obnoxious, LOL. Oh man, I didn't realize the Imagine Dragons discourse was going to get so heated in the chat. That's a new one for us.
This is the point in my favor.
Yeah,
the fact that Arcane used their song for their theme gives Imagine Dragons a little bit of grace.
Right, it's their only
that
good
is
song.
A very good song, which they've been tied to like League of Legends for a long time. They've been fans.
Well, isn't like the lead singer like a avid League of Legends player?
Yeah. I think they all are, and because they did a promo for one of the characters that came out. I can't remember his name, but Warriors. That's what it was called.
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah, but like Coheed and Cambria, way better than Imagine Dragons.
I've heard like two of their songs. I can't remember what they are now.
Yeah.
Sean Lohman, is that what the artist you were talking about?
So this is an original piece. So everybody knows Wolverine is my favorite superhero. Our show is literally named after him, and this is an original art that Sean did for me. It is kind of this just like crazy sketch of Wolverine. He did this cool blend of like the blue and yellow costume with the brown and yellow costume from the Chris Claremont run. But yeah, and he's terrifying. I mean, look at it. But like it's so good. I love this. It's been hanging in my workspace for a long time, and I look at it fondly whenever I get the chance. But yeah, that is Sean Lohman art right there. Anyway, what else do we have in chat?
Nightmare and Nerdscape's Goya.
I am familiar with Goya, but I can't off the top of my head.
Apparently I have many blind spots because I was saying music is a blind spot.
Oh, Goya, like Goya, Attack on Titan is based on a Goya drawing, actually. It was like the first thing that populated. But the anime is actually based off of one of his drawings, and it's of a giant person eating a human's body.
Oh, the Saturn.
Yeah.
Something.
Saturn devouring his son.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, this is very realistic, like creepy art art style, and it's really cool. This is the kind of stuff that I do enjoy seeing. But yeah, Goya is a great choice.
Next one is tie for Eric Johnson between Jim Lee and Benjamin Burnley.
Jim Lee, I know. Benjamin Burnley, I'm gonna have to look up. We're learning today.
Yeah.
Jim Lee is one of my favorite artists. He's not in my top 5, obviously, but he is one of my favorite artists. Jay Lee is also one of my favorite artists. I love Jay Lee. But yeah, Benjamin Burnley. I see a lot of like musical art.
It looks like from music group Breaking Benjamin since 2000.
Is he the lead singer?
Probably.
He's probably the eponymous Ben in Breaking Benjamin. Yeah, cool. Yeah, he has a neat art style. I think this is a self-portrait, but it kind of looks like RDJ. But yeah, great choice. What else we got?
Let's see. I believe that's all for the chat. We have a few more people commenting about pretty dope. It reminds me of an old Adult Swim cartoon talking about your Logan.
Oh yeah, classic Adult Swim art.
Logan looking good.
Logan looking good. I mean, your definition of good and mine might be a little bit different. I like Breaking Benjamin as a band. They're not like, I very rarely seek Breaking Benjamin out to listen to them. I'm not like, man, I'm really in a Breaking Benjamin mood today. But when their music is on, I don't hate it. I do enjoy their music.
One of my friends in high school, he had the CDs in his car. He could hold like 5 CDs. So he had like all of his Breaking Benjamin CDs, and he would listen to them in order. And if you rode with him and tried to change it or like skip a song, he would get so mad because he was like, I'm listening to them all in order. Do not mess it up for me.
Black Mac in the chat said, I like their Arcane intro and the one from the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Okay. Is that all of our chat? Sweet. My number 1 is a comic artist that I love his art style. He's right up there with Humberto Ramos. But before I name him, I want to show my honorable mention. So this is one of my best friends from high school. We saw it like when I turned 18, he lives in Kentucky. When I turned 18, I went and spent a week with him in Kentucky, and we had the best time. And we have not seen each other since. So it's been like 25 years since we've seen each other face to face, but we have maintained social media presence, texting, messaging each other pretty regularly. He and I were like art class buddies. We did art class together for 3 out of our 4 years of high school. Then he moved to Kentucky. He went on to be a really great tattoo artist. That's what he does. He owns a tattoo studio in Somerset, Kentucky called Quality Custom Tattoo. They do like traditionals and also modern style art, but he's incredibly good. And his name is Nate Corder. And then one day Nate was doing these random drawings that he was posting on like Facebook of like a cat playing, I forget the name of it, but what's that like Japanese guitar with they play with like the giant pick? Doesn't matter. But it was like a cat playing one of those, and then he did some where they were playing guitars, and I'm a guitar player, and I have always been a Strat guy, and Nate has always been a Gibson guy. And so when we were in high school, we argued back and forth about Fender and Gibson. And so the initial drawing he did, the cat was holding a Fender guitar, and I messaged him and asked if I could have one and how much it would cost me. And he made me one and sent it to me. So this is hand drawn by my friend Nate. And he, in what is just another in a long line of this Gibson Fender fight we do, put a Gibson SG in this cat's hand, just as a little jab towards me. But I love it. Like this hangs in my family room. All of my guests come and see it. Now, I'm not an interior decorator. I have one picture hanging in my family room, and it's this one. Incredible. He's such a good artist. And if you ever find yourself in Somerset, Kentucky, or in the area, go to Quality Custom Tattoos and get some work done by Nate. I certainly will at some point make my way down that way. But my number 1 is Marvel and DC comic artist Scotty Young. So Scotty Young has a style that lends himself more to chibi style characters. That being said, I love the way that he uses line weight to create the characters that he does. Go ahead and throw that up there, Randy. So this is his Wolverine, and he draws Wolverine pretty regularly. I think he's better known for his Spider-Man, but I love his Wolverine drawing. The use of the blue and the black on the mask, the like I said, the line weight that he uses is always interesting. I think that every time I see his artwork, it makes me think on a visceral level. And it's crazy because he just does these cutesy little versions of characters, but every time I'm just like, fuck, that's stunning. He does such a good job. But yeah, so that is my number one. No surprise, a lot of mine were comic book artists. I'm a huge comic book fan. Jesse J. Stewart said that's awesome. I'm assuming that is about the drawing that Nate did for me. Nightmare Nerds Kid said those are guitar brands for the Imagine Dragons fans in the house. Funny. My favorite, you guys can roast me if you want. My favorite band is a little Canadian group called Unleash the Archers. They're barely known in the United States. They do power metal, and every one of their albums is a concept album written around these fantasy novels that the lead singer and her husband write. And they're incredible. They're huge D&D nerds. They spend a lot of time on Discord chatting with their fans. I found them by accident like 10 years ago and have been a fan. I traveled to a small little dive bar in Chicago one time to see them, and it was incredible. That was a crazy weekend with Story Love and her husband and my wife and I. We got on a plane, flew to Chicago on a Friday, saw Unleash the Archers on Friday night, got on a plane, flew back to St. Louis, went and saw Guar that night, and then Story Love drove, was at the show, got elbowed in the face by some asshole in the pit, and then we drove back home that night. So it was just like this whirlwind weekend where we just went Chicago, St. Louis, and then back to Cape Girardeau. But Unleash the Archers was incredible. They're incredible live. They're incredible recorded. Their albums are all great. Test Your Metal is incredible. Anything off of Apex is awesome. Like all their albums are great. Go check them out. They're just really great nerds that make really great music. But Story Love, best concert ever. Yeah, we had a good time. Guar was a good time. It was nuts. But anyway, so that is our list for this week. Next week, we are going to be doing our 5 favorites. I wrote it down just a minute ago. Our 5 favorite mecha. So that is Gundam, Robotech, Neon Genesis Evangelion. What's the big? What is his name?
Rim? I don't know.
It's an anime with a big like.
Gurren Lagann.
No, Gurren Lagann's a great example though too. Big Robo, I think. But anyway,
Big Hero 6.
No, Big Hero 6 is an homage. Like the Baymax character is an homage to that character. But any mecha character from any series, whatever that you're into, we can talk about that. And then shortly here in a second, as soon as we end this segment, I would like you guys to throw some more ideas at me for hit lists, because I'm running short on ideas and would love to hear some crowdsourced ones after that. But anyway, next week, your top 5 favorite or your 5 favorite mecha. This has been the hit list. Welcome back to the show. Randy, you've done a great job for your first night in the chair alone. Very few hiccups, and it will only get better and more efficient. If you want to kick the comments up there, we will take people's suggestions. Just for a couple of minutes, I am listening to your suggestions for the hit list for the next coming weeks. So we're going to do Sonic the Hedgehog characters from Story Love, which is a great tie-in to the fact that Colleen O'Shaughnessy, the voice of Tails the Fox from Sonic the Hedgehog, will be here in Cape Girardeau this weekend at Cape Anime. I can't spell characters. We'll be here to hang out, talk to you, sign autographs, pictures, hang out. I already said hang out. That's 3 hangouts. She's really going to hang out. And her panel will be on Saturday, and we're just going to have a good time with Colleen as well as the other 4 guests we have coming to the show. So far, I've got Sonic characters, top 5 authors. Love it. So authors, I have a lot of options on that one. I'm an avid reader.
I'm trying to get back into reading more.
Randy, you got any top 5 ideas or hit list
Um,
ideas?
I'm sure after this, in like 5 minutes, I'll have 1,000.
That's fine.
but-
You can always text them to me. No worries.
Ooh, here's a good one. With
Yeah,
Nintendo
Nintendo
dropping
games.
releases
Love
for
it.
the date for Switch 2, we can talk about top 5 Nintendo games.
Nintendo games. Do we want to talk Nintendo specifically? Yeah, let's do Nintendo games, and then I'm going to put another one underneath it that just is retro games. Although I take that back. I think we just did retro games a couple of episodes ago, like 3 or 4, maybe a little bit longer than that. I don't understand time. So yeah, we'll just leave it at Nintendo.
Top 5 Imagine Dragon band members.
Top 5 Imagine Dragon band members.
I don't know if there's 5.
We could do top 5 Imagine Dragon songs. Unfortunately, they only have 3 songs, so I don't know how that's gonna work. But let's do. I'm gonna add Marvel heroes on here, and then I'm also gonna do DC heroes, and then underneath that, I'm going to also add Image heroes, and we can get very pedantic and specific in the brand of heroes. We could also do Image heroes or characters in general. That doesn't, I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be. Top 5 90s songs, any genre. Love it. 90s songs. You can probably already guess what my number 1 is going to be on that list, but my other 4 are a mystery. Let's see. Let's do. You know what would be really fun? We could do fantasy classes.
Ooh,
Your 5 favorite fantasy classes. So that will lean into like D&D, fantasy authors, manga.
We talked a lot about
video
isekai
games
today. We could talk about top 5 worlds you would want to be reincarnated into.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Top 5 worlds to be isekai into.
Ooh, top 5 one-hit wonders.
Okay.
We got one submission already, the Macarena.
You guys can keep the recommendations flowing in. I will continue writing. But for this week, that has been the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. We could not do this show without you. I mean, technically, we could just sit here and speak into the ether, but what would be the fun in that? You guys make this show worthwhile, and we love and appreciate each and every one of you. Yes, even you. Thank you to the Dat Feeling Podcast Network. You guys are great. We are so happy to be here with you. And Randy, do you have anything you'd like to say to the nice folks?
Thank you guys for being so nice to me on my first day, my first day solo.
Yeah, so you guys are awesome. Next week we are talking about our 5 favorite mecha, and then from there we will move on to our new list. I just want to say you guys have been great, and we've been Cutting Edge Hero.